Hello and welcome back to My Mom's Basement, presented by 3Chi and Barstool Sports. That is Dave Portnoy's Barstool Sports. I am your host, Robbie Fox, along with my co-host, Clem. And Clem, we've been getting a lot of questions this week. At least I have. What does this mean for the Basement Boys? Dave Portnoy has repurchased Barstool Sports. Does this change anything for Robbie and Clem? People have been asking me. I've been telling people, probably doesn't change a ton. Maybe it keeps the basement lights on for longer. I think that's what we're hoping for. I think we're hoping, maybe our landlord, like our uncle just bought the building from our landlord. So it's like, all right, we still have to pay rent, but maybe we won't get evicted if we start getting low on rent. We'll see about that. But it does change one thing for us. One door opens for the Basement Boys after this sale of Barstool Sports. A forbidden door, some may call it. It allows us to once again talk to one of our best friends, the Rocket, Jared Carrabis. He's back in the basement.
It's the third man! Acknowledge me!
Gentlemen, it's good to be back. It's good to see your faces.
Welcome back, Carrabis. It's great to have you back. This was
It's,
such a quick thing. Like when the sale happened, immediately we were texting each other like, can we talk again? Can we just be content again?
Yeah.
And not like we haven't talked for a couple of years. But I thought maybe we have to wait a couple months. Maybe there's a little period. Then I see you on Barstool Radio yesterday. I texted Dave immediately. I was like, am I allowed to have Carrabis on the show? He just sent me two words, two of the sweetest words I've ever read in my life. Green light.
Oh man, our dad said we can play with you again, Jared.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Pretty much, yeah. So I mean, I was in the Red Sox dugout when the news broke. When Dave dropped the video, I was in the Red Sox dugout. I'm watching it. I'm standing on the railing watching Dave's video. Not even finished with the video, and then my phone rings. It's Kirk, and I'm like, "Hello." He's like, you're fucking back, buddy. And I was like, what? he's like, I saw the news. I called Dave. I asked if you can be on my show. He said yes. So when I talked to Dave, he was like, yeah, within 10 minutes of the announcement, my phone rang and it was Kirk asking if you can come back on the show. So I got the green light there. Within 45 minutes of Dave's video, Gaz texted me like the invite to the 20-year anniversary party. It was just like a full-on like tearing down the Berlin Wall.
What's funny is when Dave accidentally fired Ian Rappaport trying to fire Michael Rappaport, he was like, you fired, and he's like, I don't even work here. You basically got hired and you don't even work here. Like
Pretty much,
everyone else was like, hey, by the way, here's your next month of work commitments and podcast appearances. And you were like, all right.
Yeah, which is great because I feel like it's beneficial for everyone. Like now, like I can like go on, do your show, I can do Kevin's show, I can do Kirk's show. That's probably like all I'll do. Like I'll do like Barstool Radio. Like I'm not gonna do like the full car wash
exclusive.
Like,
for us.
Yeah, 100%. But it's great because now like I have like little tiny gaps in my schedule, and I didn't have a place to talk wrestling either.
And now we could talk wrestling. We could talk wrestling. We could talk horror movies. Come October, get Jared back on for like a Halloween special. The possibilities are endless. We don't have to talk about you like you're Voldemort anymore. Like
that's true. Yeah, that was hurtful.
Named.
I got the Chris Benoit treatment. Yeah, I did. Yeah, they Benoit me. That was tough. It was tough because there's obviously some people that moved on from the Barstool world that Dave will talk about openly. Like motherfucker like said, all right, Jared's out. No one can say his name. Sent out a company email being like, ignore him. And then like 3 weeks later has Pat McAfee on his live stream who's wearing a FanDuel.
Well, listen, you're not kicking punts in the NFL over
That's
here.
what I'm saying. It's like different people play by different rules. So I was like, all right, okay, I get it. Like there's different tiers to this. But yeah, no, that was a rough time to be blacklisted like that.
Well, now you're back. I mean, are you back as like the son of Dave Portnoy, or after this, are you like his stepson?
I'd like to think that I'm still his son.
We got to get.
It's kind of like
I'd like to think.
You know what?
Same.
It's kind of like Vince and Shane, where it's like you're running the company business, but I'm gonna go to Japan and make money my own way. Like it's like I'm
Hopefully
still your
you don't
son.
get into like a helicopter crash afterwards. But you know what? If you're anything like Shane, you'll be all right. Yeah,
I'll be
it's like
fine.
a minor scratch.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. Is like I'm not doing the family business right now, but then there's always that return where you can come back and have a cheap pop. You're in the Rumble now, like that's kind of how I feel.
I almost feel like when you guys see each other, like if it's in Boston, like we said, in a couple of weeks for that event that I still don't know if it's happening or if we are allowed to name it, it's going to be like the end of Field of Dreams. Like, Dad, you want to have a catch? And he's going to be like, Jared, you know my shoulder's all messed up. I'd be in the major leagues if I had a good shoulder. But it's a beautiful thing. And I do apologize. I have to say, on a few different podcasts, I did say, like, the guy who I can't talk about who's taking food out of my kid's mouth right now by trying to bankrupt us. Like, I feel bad for it, but, it's show business.
Listen,
you know more than anybody.
It is what it is. All is forgiven. I'm just I'm glad to be able to do content with my friends right now. It's amazing.
I loved firing a tweet off when Jared threw out the first pitch at Fenway, where I was just like, someone just threw an absolute like beam as first pitch. Like, who was this guy? This unnamed man.
Yeah.
Before this sale, though, I don't know if you even know this, Clem. Me and Jared pretty much planned like a yearly boys trip just to make sure we would be able to see each other for the future. So we pretty much planned every year we're going to go to the Royal Rumble from here on out. Wherever it is, we'll travel there, see the sights and sounds of the city. This year it's in Miami, is it?
So the second that I said that, I think I forget who I was with. Whoever I was with was a wrestling fan. He was like, it's in London next, right? And I was like,
no,
what?
is it really?
I was like, what? I don't know if I even have a passport.
You told me Tropicana.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
London.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought when I googled it, it said Tropicana Field, but now I'm here in London. Either way,
listen, we put it out there, so we got to go.
Yeah, we have to go. We're going. I mean, I feel like it's going to be one of those things now where people are going to hear that we're doing this and they're going to want to get in on it. I say we keep it tight for now, but I mean,
you think like our friends are going to want to get in on it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
really?
I'm especially people like to travel and they just need an excuse to travel. So it's like, oh yeah, like I don't really like wrestling, but like I'll go to London. It's like
we should have a thing that's like you got to prove yourself. It's like the citizenship test to get a citizen in the United States. You got a name like who's the fourth president? What is his son's name? Like you should be able to know like Gorilla Monsoon and his son.
And it's also like the driver's test. Like you have to like sit through hours of training. Like, did you watch that YouTube video that I sent you? It was like the hour and a half video. You didn't watch it?
I didn't watch it. I forgot about it, if I'm being honest. It was
YouTube videos are a tough ask, Jared. When you said that
it was a 90-minute YouTube video.
I mean, they've got YouTube on television now. You can sit down and pretend it's a movie. I'm not going to sit down and watch.
I haven't had it for 10 years.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit down and watch 90 minutes on my laptop, but I'll sit down in bed or on the couch and I can watch a 90-minute YouTube video for sure. It's worth it. I'm telling you.
I've done that before. I will watch it. Hand up. I will watch it. I forgot about it.
It's the complete story arc of Roman Reigns' character forever. And it like explains wrestling. It's kind of like his story arc, but it explains it to wrestling, like casual wrestling fans or people that are like, isn't wrestling fake? Isn't wrestling stupid? And it just explains it to them. Like, yeah, that video should be mandatory for anyone that I'm not even saying that you get to come to the Royal Rumble with us if you watch it, but you should still watch it.
But if you don't watch it, you definitely can't come.
No chance. No.
Yeah. All right, I got to cut off this awesome podcast with our friend Jared Carrabis real quick, just to tell everyone about HelloFresh, one of our absolute favorite sponsors. They've been one of our favorites for years. Fall is right around the corner, and HelloFresh is here to help you plan your busy season ahead with tasty dishes delivered right to your door. Simply choose your recipes and pick your delivery date, and then lay back and enjoy the dog days of summer, knowing dinner is covered. It's amazing. Banish the end of summer blues. HelloFresh is the best. I've been having it delivered for literally years, and it's not only delicious food, it's very easy to make. The sheets they give you, it's like a one-sheet instructional. I could make it. If I could make it, you could make it. It's also a fun date night. If you have a girlfriend, wife at home, me and Clem have talked about this. Do a little bit, I'll chop this, you get this prepared. By the time you're done cooking your HelloFresh meal, about 15 minutes later, 30 minutes later, you're going to be enjoying a tasty, satisfying meal. And it tastes even better knowing you made it with your own ingredients. You don't have anything left over because everything's pre-portioned. They have quick and easy dinner options. They've got stuff that you could bring to lunch at work that you don't even need a microwave for. No heater required. Pop them in. It's amazing. Go to HelloFresh.com/50Fox. This is a new promo code, so listen carefully. 50FOX, and use that same promo code 50Fox for 50% off plus free shipping. So that's HelloFresh.com/50Fox and use the promo code 50Fox for 50% off your first box plus free shipping. I'm telling you, it's not just an ad. I love HelloFresh. They make delicious, delicious meals, and they're very easy to make. It's America's #1 meal kit for a reason. Two people that were the opposite of that for me in terms of like brought them to their first wrestling show, and they were actually 3 people were awesome for it. Caleb, Feidelberg, and Glenny Balls. Brought them to SummerSlam 2 years ago. Oh my God, what a good vibes crew that was. They were loving it.
Those are just some enthusiastic gentlemen. That's all that is. I mean, that you need the vibes crew, especially for like if it's like a major 4 pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Like if you have you been to a Royal Rumble before?
Only one.
I haven't.
The one where
I've never been to
Shinsuke
one.
won. Yeah.
That must have been terrible.
No, it was good. It was a fun one. Rey Mysterio came back. The Hurricane came back. So we got a couple surprises. You know what was unexpected, though? It was the first ever women's Royal Rumble followed by men's Royal Rumble. Every single time the 10-second countdown starts, the whole crowd stands up and everyone gets excited for whoever's coming out. We had 2 Rumbles back to back. That was 60 fucking squats, Jared. 60 times I had to stand up. And by the end, Nate was just not standing up. He was like, I'm sitting. I'm not doing this.
That was the 2019 Royal Rumble in Atlanta for the Super Bowl where we were at the Barstool house.
Yes.
And Devlin ended up winning and he was like, I can eat this week. But I mean, that was also the same year, I believe, that we were watching the previous year's Royal Rumble for like the first 20 minutes. And we didn't figure out that it was last year's Royal Rumble until I was like, how did Baron Corbin grow his hair back like that?
Like this bald guy has long hair all of a sudden.
Yeah, this bald guy's got hair down to his ass, and it's only been like 2 weeks. That was very strange.
Yeah, that was an all-time call from Big Cat and Jared from the house. They were like, who's walking out in the Royal Rumble right now? And I was like, they're playing video packages. That main event doesn't come on for another 2 hours. And they were like, we're watching the wrong one. It's the wrong one. It ain't right.
I love hearing that text message that you guys were independently setting up your own bro time. And that it makes my heart sore. But also, I'm also kind of figuring this out now. I feel like me and Robbie have gotten closer once Jared, was no longer to play with us anymore. So it's like, is Jared going to start moving in back on my guy here? Like the basement is a place where there's no animosity or anything. But, if I get bumped to like, Jared, this is my seat on the couch. Your little butt can't fit in the big butt spot here,
You get to be in a relationship on Facebook, but I've been the side hoe for the entire time. I never left the picture.
Yeah, unfortunately, that might be a true detail there. Me and Jared constantly kept in touch. One thing that I want to bring up publicly on this podcast and just call you out for it, essentially. I saw on your Instagram story yesterday, you put a fucking 65-inch television in your bathroom. I responded right away. I said, that is just fuck you money from Jared right there. 65 in the back. I don't have a 65 in my living room. You put a 65 in the back. Isn't that going to get foggy when you shower?
Buy another one, Bob.
This guy, he started the podcast with the acknowledge me. I think we actually do. That for 3 years, we couldn't acknowledge him. We have to acknowledge this guy's a big baller.
Yeah, I mean, Bob Fox said that you've got fuck you money, and I said I have exact replica WWE title money. One of the first things I bought was like, I know the dude that makes the titles that they use on TV, and he custom made a WWE title with like the side plates that have a custom rocket logo in them. And I was like, give me that. And we've got, it's right out there. Been wearing it.
Go get it. Come on, go get it. You want to get it. You don't bring that up
it.
without wanting to get it. Like,
because this also, it's not just a regular replica title. You could go on WWE shop and buy for, they're pretty expensive even there. I think they're $300, $500, maybe $600. This is like Jared went to the guy that makes those, the ones that are mass produced. Not good enough for the Rocket. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes with it.
On the shoulder. Real
diamonds, real gold, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Let's see the side plates, the Rocket side plates. I mean,
ooh,
it's nice. Even got the little, like the side thing, like he's broadcasting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had the, We made
Look at the way that thing shines on camera,
Yeah,
by the way. If
nice.
you're not watching on YouTube right now, if you're just listening on the
Missing
podcast
out.
feed, I'm blinded by the gems on this thing.
They're dancing. The gems are dancing right now.
They are.
flashy. Every time I have a pay-per-view, I also have what's it called? The Ula Fala. That's what it's called?
Oh, the necklace.
I've got that too. It took
Yeah.
me a month to get it from a Samoan jeweler. Like it's actually from Samoa. Like it wasn't.
I know,
like
and when you
WWE
got that, I
shop.
was like, bro, are people gonna get on you for appropriation? Is it cool to
Don't
wear
care.
the Ula Fala? Yeah,
I
and
don't
you
think
were
it
like,
is. I don't
I'm
think it
going
is.
for
No.
No, I think it's cool. I saw people at SummerSlam wearing their own versions of it. I don't think it was your high-end version of it. They don't
That's what I'm
sell one
saying.
for kids, by the way, which seems outrageous to me. My nephew,
love
biggest
that.
Roman Reigns fan, I can't buy him a fucking Ula Fala.
I don't want anyone else to have one. I want it to be. I have one. Roman Reigns has one. That's it. That's it.
Fun
Alpha
fact.
and Sika, that's it.
Fun fact: Roman Reigns was on "It's a Small World" right before me and my family were there the other day. Jared, it was a nice little thing.
It's a fact.
Really?
Big facts,
Well,
big
well,
facts.
he's taking time off, right? He's
hurt
in real life?
apparently.
Yeah.
But I heard he's not going to miss any of the prior commitments that he had. So,
Well,
like,
I mean, he
think could
defends the
still
title
show
once
up
every
with better
4 months.
promo. Exactly. Might be
I
good
love
for him
that.
to take some time off where it's like you could extend the program going a little longer.
See, this is one of those things where it was a huge miss to not have a wrestling podcast together because I would have been insufferable this entire time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I've been wrestling is a weird thing, Clem, where like who's your favorite wrestler of all time?
Well, I love like the Stone Colds, the Hulks, but like my guy was Mick Foley, Mankind.
Okay, so Mick Foley, for the most part, for his peak, was always a baby face.
Mhm.
For me, like Kane was my favorite wrestler of all time. That's number one. And then it was CM Punk, and then it was Roman Reigns. I look at favorite wrestlers the same way that I look at sports teams. It's like you ride the wave when it's a good season. If it's a shitty season, you're just like, you're a Red Sox fan, you're a Mets fan. Like I've been a Roman Reigns fan since day one, and he was struggling for a good shot. Like it was basically like, we were a last place team for a long time. Like, yeah, like we had some like we called up a couple of prospects and the future looked promising for a little bit, but then we still sucked, like no matter what we did. So the last 3 years has been essentially, I don't know, it was like 9 years of being a very, very disappointing franchise, followed by 3 straight World Series titles. Like, think about how fucking cool that would be to live that existence as a baseball fan. That's what it's been like for me as a Roman Reigns fan, because I mean, even when you go back and watch that YouTube video that I told you about, Bob, those promos from the early days, they're even worse. Like they were bad at the moment. They were bad in real time. They're even worse with the context of how good he is now. You're like, holy shit. Like this is yikes. So yeah, man, it's 3 straight World Series titles. We're cruising right now.
The way you describe this, and I haven't been in wrestling, I think, since like 2004. It sounds like if you took your entire life as a Red Sox fan and just condensed it, where it's like, I feel like they sucked probably when you were really, really young, right? Mm-hmm. And then it just goes 04 to 18 or whatever, and it's like Roman
the dynasty,
Reigns.
Yeah,
exactly. Would you say this is like? I don't think he's reached. It's definitely not reached the level, I feel. But I feel like there's a few people out there who was like, listen, I was like one of the 3 actual Rocky Maivia fans when everyone was chanting Rocky sucks. And now they're going every fast movie being like, this guy, or, they got to see. So would you say like, is Roman on that trajectory where he was legitimately despised by 99% of the fan base, and now he is like the king of the fucking industry?
Yeah, like everyone's on his dick now. But yeah, I remember doing like From the Top Rope episodes in 2017 being like, I don't know, Bob, I just still love him. I don't know why. No one else seems to feel the same way. Like when he won the Royal Rumble in Philly and just got like brutally booed out of the building to the point where they had to bring out The Rock to like hold up his arm, and like The Rock is still like,
The Rock is looking around like, nobody told me people didn't like this guy.
Yeah, like he's like, what the fuck did you do? Like, like, it was like that. And I want to say I was at Monday Night Raw when he won the title. Does that sound right? When he won?
Oh,
did he
yeah,
win
in Boston against Sheamus?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
So
that's right.
yeah, like I don't know. I just I feel like it's the same thing. Like when I get like a White Sox fan will tweet me and be like, Rocket, what do I do? Like this is so sad and like miserable. And like you gotta stick it out. You gotta stick it out through the hard times because that makes the good times feel that much better. Like imagine if you just like isn't White Sox Dave boycotting the White Sox? Like he tweeted the next day being like, oh, I saw the White Sox won last night. Like that's fucking stupid. Like if you're a fan, you just got to eat the bad times because once you finally win it all, that's what makes it feel great is like, look at how shitty this used to be. Look at how bad we used to have it. Now look how great we have it. A boycott, that's an easy way out. And with Roman, there were some bad times. there were
times where a boycott was on the table. You could have boycotted.
there were definitely times like because Robbie and I, there's like a 10-year age gap, but like Clem, you could probably relate a little bit more where once we got to high school, like it wasn't cool to be a wrestling fan anymore. So like I stopped watching probably when I got to high school, and then I came back when Kane put his mask on, which was in like 2011. But it was kind of getting to that point with Roman where if you like, you almost couldn't say out loud that you were a Roman Reigns fan. Just you had to be like, I like
cool.
Johnny Gargano. I don't know.
if there was any sports teams that I would root for that like embarrass me every single year, occasionally give me like a shred of hope and then just rip it out and cut my balls off. No, Jared, I really can't think of any teams that have done that to me anytime recently. Fucking jerk. You goddamn jerk.
That is terrible.
Another fun fact: Kane was signing autographs at my mall, the same one where I saw DMX. So that
really
mall has had
rest in peace.
Kane and DMX at their
Legends only.
Yeah,
club.
Yeah, I would love to hear that conversation.
I mean, for Roman, for so many years, it was especially they were trying to fit like a square peg in a round hole. Where I think we all saw hints of like this guy might be a pretty fucking good heel. Like he's got that serious tone, that cadence. They're trying to make him do Looney Tunes promos where he's going on stage and going, sucker and suffetash. This is crazy. It's like that was not him. The second they said, all right, we're going to pair you with Paul Heyman, just be yourself a little bit more. I mean, the second they let him do that, it was like, whoop, strap a rocket to his ass. And he's immediately not only one of the best wrestlers in the world, one of the best promos in the world. He is one of the most over wrestlers we've had in decades in the point where like, it's not just the promos where people boo him. It continues and extends into the matches. Every single match this guy has, the crowd is booing every single move, every punch. And it's that vibe of we love to hate this guy. It's not go away heat. It's like this guy's such a fucking good heel. He's being such a bastard to his actual legitimate family. Like, fuck this guy. At SummerSlam, people were just chanting, fuck you, Roman. And my 9-year-old nephew's just looking at me like, I think I'm the only one rooting for this guy. I was like, you goddamn right you are, buddy. Let's go. We're rooting with you. So, yeah, great stuff. Clem, you did mention the Mets there. I did want to bring that up because it's been a couple years where you haven't been able to talk baseball with Jared either.
Yeah.
Couple contentious years between the Mets fans in the office that I'm sure Jared has just
Civil
been
War.
watching from. Yeah. It's like that Squidward meme where he's looking out the window at his friends, but it's not even like they're having fun. It's like they're in a horrible fight. Yeah. So what's that been like? Just watching from afar, Jared?
I mean, not to bring it back to Roman, but it's like if I had Roman's number, I wouldn't have like texted him after winning the Rumble. It's like, man, like this is going real bad. Like, I'm just going to give you some time to breathe. Like watching the Mets fall apart. I didn't reach out to I didn't reach out to Clem, did not reach out to Kevin. It's like, cause I know what that's like. It would be different if it were the Yankees, right? Like the Yankees have won championships and like they've had their highs, but they would have a low period. But like I did Barstool Radio with Kevin for years. So like I was next to him every day, hearing him talk about how great it's going to be when Steve Cohen finally took over the Mets and just seeing that hope in his eyes of finally we have our savior. Finally, someone is going to save us from the Wilpons. We're going to be like, he was like Dr. Claw. Like, we're just going to be like, fuck you. We're going to spend, all right, the average payroll in baseball is 240 million. We're going to spend 550 million. Like, we're going to double it up. So I felt bad. No part of me, and I hope you know this, Clem, no part of me wanted to rub it in your faces. Like, I felt genuinely bad for you guys.
No, I do think there is like I mean, you're a good friend. I went back to that when you guys were going through all your text message recaps on Barstool Radio, and hit Tommy back since basically he left you like a 2-minute message pouring his heart out. I went back and I got a couple things like happy birthday. I also got the time where you didn't come to the bar that was apparently like in your living room, but that you said I already texted you late.
What happened that night?
We were in town for the dozen, I believe, and I guess RDT texted you later at night and was like, "Hey, Rocket said he's not coming, even though it's basically like we're in next door to him right now."
But wasn't it like 15 minutes before last call or something like that?
That's what you said. We were there for like another 2 hours, but I also said, "Listen, I don't know if I get a picture with him, I'm going to get like murdered by Dave. He's going to chop my head off." So I was like, and I figure I don't know what you're doing. You're always flying across country. I see you in different ballparks and shit like that, so I had no idea you were even around. But the Mets and the Red Sox, there's like a connection between our fan bases because it's brewed in like fuck the Yankees. So I call it the Red Sox connection, where like right now in August when we're dead, we're like, all right, I hope the Red Sox go out and win. And obviously now there's other teams in the AL East that can present a problem to the Yankees. But that was it for like during your fucking whole entire war of the 2000s was we would root for you guys. And like 2004 is like one of my best baseball memories because I've never seen my team cross the finish line, but seeing what you guys did, it was great. So I never expected any kind of like salt in the wound. I will say though, like the Atlanta Braves lineup, and I have to see it in all cap locks every fucking time they hit a single or a home run. I'm like, God damn it, Rocket.
I'm a damn showman. I know where my bread gets buttered, and I feel like that's why doing a national baseball podcast, you don't have a home base. It's a national podcast, but when the playoffs start, we're gonna do a live show in Atlanta. That's probably outside Boston and Oakland. That's probably our biggest listening contingency is in Atlanta. So that's the plan. The only time I've ever been there was for the Super Bowl when we went there, but it was obviously January, so I was outside the park. Never been there for a game, but that's.
Are you gonna do the thing that you're not allowed to do?
You can't do the chop. I know
they don't allow that, right? Do they not allow the chop?
I don't know.
Buster only does it. You didn't hear?
Oh, he does. Oh yeah. Yeah, I've even like talked about that. Like we were saying, like now that the forbidden door is open, we can have all like the baseball personalities come on the podcast now. And I was saying, like we probably could have had Frank the Tank on the entire time. Like I had nobody. The only Barstool personality to consistently retweet my tweets during the embargo was Frank the Tank. Just he probably thought that I still worked there. He had no idea.
Yeah. No, he definitely did. I was doing a video with him yesterday, like promoting Rough and Rowdy. And I said, Frank, that video the other day where you didn't know any Barstool people was so funny when they were just putting like faces in front of him. He didn't know who they were. And Gia was one of them. Gia, Frank's sister, had a whole tweet where she was like, I say hi to Frank every day. He still doesn't know who I am. I think Frank responded to it and everything. I said, do you know Gia yet? I took a long pause and he went, nope, don't think so. Out of nowhere. He's just, nope, I don't think so. So I'm sure you could have had Frank. Now, I mean, you could have Hubs, your best friend. He's back.
Yeah. I mean, we periodically would have little appearances from Hubs. The Empire's back, baby! We would have him drop in every now and then.
Ready to go.
Yeah, like
what? Do you have a soundboard?
Yeah, so like I would just like there was like Barstool stuff all over it. Like I have one from Dave.
Shohei Ohtani.
Like he was trying to pronounce Shohei Ohtani one time on his show. It's like that was like the other thing. Like people would be like, you know, like, what do you hate Barstool? What are you talking about? No, dude. Like it's a different job, but I feel like I never left in the first place.
It was like WWE and AEW. Like all the guys in the locker room are friends with each other. Sure, the people at the top have to like pit each other against each other for money purposes or whatever, their actual direct competitors. But all the people in the locker room are still cool. Still visiting locker rooms.
And MJF cannot cut a promo without not just mention like there are guys that will imply or make references to WWE. MJF will just straight up say WWE. Like during
Vince McMahon's been washing my balls lately.
That's just Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank does whatever he wants. Like people go, are there rules? Are there Barstool rules and then Frank the Tank rules? No, Frank the Tank doesn't have rules here. Dave goes, just do your thing, Frank. And he's honestly like like they say, he might be the most famous Barstool employee at this point. It's like Rocket is like, I don't know if Frank's nipping at Rocket's heels or Rocket's nipping at Frank's heels when it comes to baseball personalities.
Dude, I saw the video where he was at Yankee Stadium and needed a police escort. I've never needed that.
Crazy.
I've never needed that. And
The
like,
hat
I feel like
he does the hat to the crowd. That's the
yeah,
best.
2018, 2019. I mean, that was as hot as the heel run went, and I didn't need a police escort.
No. Did you see the video of Dave doing he did like almost like a TMZ type interview? Someone came up to him on the street and was just asking him questions with the camcorder. And they were like, what's next for the New York office? Like what's going to go down there? And Dave just goes, Frank the Tank. No further explanation. No, didn't talk further. This guy, I don't even know if he was a Barstool fan, the interviewer. I assume he was if he caught up with Dave on the street and everything. But I just want to imagine everyone that doesn't know the dynamics of Barstool, they're like, this Frank the Tank guy must be the new boss in New York.
Yeah, like it was I think the comparison would be because people would be like, well, they didn't like bring anyone in to replace you for baseball after you left. And I was like, brother, that was a change. It was like from Shawn Michaels to Stone Cold Steve Austin. Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank is the face of baseball at
New
Barstool
era.
Sports.
Yeah.
It's
Frank
not even
era
close.
has begun.
Yeah, it's like drawing a Shawn Michaels comparison, nothing to shake a stick at, but no one was Stone Cold Steve Austin, and that's Frank the Tank.
All right. Speaking of wrestling, going back to wrestling, let's shout out our good friends at C4. WWE and C4 have teamed up for the first ever WWE-inspired C4 Ultimate pre-workout and C4 Ultimate Energy Drink. I think I got it behind me. I do. So check this out, Jared.
Ooh.
Usually, we
I'm
just
a
tell
C4
everyone.
guy.
Yeah, we tell everyone about the Ultimate Energy. We've got the Ruthless Raspberry, the Berry Powerbomb, WWE flavors. But since we've got Jared Carrabis on the podcast today, we could also bring up the pre-workout. It actually makes sense today. I usually say, oh, yeah, I got to pump in. But this is something that you could actually work out with. WWE superstar Montez Ford says that C4 and WWE go together like peanut butter and jelly. And this collaboration will allow you to unleash your ultimate undisputed performance. It's an ultimate heavyweight formulation, 300 milligrams of caffeine to unleash that next level energy for next level workouts. And it's available in 3 new flavors: pomegranate pile driver, bare knuckle, blood orange, and nectarine guava knockout. So go knock out a workout with this stuff. The Ultimate Energy is the official drink of SummerSlam, or at least it was this past weekend. And the C4 Ultimate and WWE collaboration is now available exclusively at GNC. Did you watch SummerSlam, Jared? I assume you did.
Of course I did. I did. And you mentioned Montez Ford. Did you see the video that I did at Battleground? Not Battleground. Was it? No. What the fuck did they call Survivor Series?
Was it War Games?
War Games. Yeah. So I got to go backstage for that and do a video asking WWE superstars, like, who was your favorite baseball player growing up, and can you do their batting stance? And Montez Ford was one of the superstars that participated. And then after he did the batting stance, we basically just like cut a promo together. It was sick. I have to get the video. Yeah, I haven't seen it back, but like we basically just like cut a promo. It went from like talking about baseball to we immediately were just cutting a wrestling promo together. He was awesome. He was super nice.
I've met him once before. Super nice guy.
Yeah.
I was at SummerSlam. I had so much fun at SummerSlam. I thought it was an absolute blast. Like I said, I brought the little nephew. He was going crazy for all his guys. Huge Roman guy, but also huge Cody guy. Cody had a great match against Brock Lesnar. It's probably my favorite match of the night. And LA Knight. Everyone is all about LA Knight right now. Yeah. He won the Battle Royal. The whole crowd is going crazy. Everyone is flipping out. So that was great. Do you have, though, we've been doing this the past couple of weeks, me and Clem sharing back and forth our favorite SummerSlam memories. So one pop to mind for you?
I mean, probably not that it was like you know what was it? SummerSlam 2000, Undertaker versus Kane. It's probably their most forgettable match of all time. But for me, it's not, because the match, I don't even think the bell rang. I don't think the match started. It was kind of just like they came through the curtain, they started brawling, but it was the weirdest thing of all time, because I don't even know that there was a payoff. The Undertaker just tries to rip Kane's mask off the entire time. He's not trying to get a pinfall, submission, nothing. He's just like, let me get that mask off your face. And I used to get WWE and Raw magazine because like Raw was like the one with the boobs. But like the magazine, because I mean, like this was, I don't want to say it was pre-internet, but like probably pre me being allowed to use the internet by myself. I was probably like in 6th grade. The magazine had a picture of Kane with his mask ripped off and like his hair was down in his face, but he was bleeding and he had his hand like right here. So you could like kind of see his face, but not really. So like that, I mean, growing up without like social media and really kind of being able to like be an internet sleuth, that made Kane's character such like, it was so mysterious because you couldn't like, you know, they had, like Slipknot, they were like, hey, we have a new band member and he's wearing a mask. It took like 3 days for people to be like, it's that guy. You know, like back then, like you didn't know who Kane was. You didn't know who Glenn was. Yeah. And that
nobody
was
knew he was Glenn Jacobs. Yeah.
No.
Just not the most intimidating name. Yeah.
No, former school teacher born in Spain. Yeah, they had no idea. But that was like the first glimpse of Kane without a mask on. And I can't even tell you how exhilarating it was just to get a little peek.
That was like seeing boobies for the first time.
Yeah, better.
My favorite moment from SummerSlam this year was tough. There was a lot of good moments. Probably Cody winning. I think Cody winning was a good moment. I mean, the main event was great, though, too, in that Jimmy Uso, Jay's twin brother, Clem, came out. It was Jay Uso versus Roman Reigns, real cousins in real life. And Jimmy Uso came out to fuck his brother over. Came out in a hood, bandana over his face and everything, pulled him out of the ring when he was about to get the pinfall, and then did like the Vince reveal where he takes it off. It was me all along type thing.
Are you in the camp of the storyline doesn't make sense now?
No, I'm not. People called that out and they're like, this is so stupid, such a quick turn. I love the Bloodline storyline and I don't want it to end anytime soon. I want it to extend at least until WrestleMania. I think there's a good story to tell with like every member of the Bloodline turning on Roman, and then he eventually faces Cody at the WrestleMania with no help, and Cody could beat him without help or something like that. But I think it makes sense in terms of Jimmy a couple weeks ago saying, or Roman saying, Jimmy never thought you could be the tribal chief. Like, I think Jimmy is just aligning himself with who he thinks is going to be. It's like almost like the Bloodline's like a mob story. And it's like you want to align yourself with who isn't going to get hit.
Yeah.
Or isn't going to get you whacked.
We've also got 35 weeks before WrestleMania. Like, they've got to really milk this before we get Jimmy versus Jay at WrestleMania, pretty much.
Yeah.
Robbie, when you said Jimmy was going to go in and fuck his brother, I got real. I'm like, wow, they really went back to the attitude.
Yeah.
Made it even
poor
more
choice of words. That was a poor choice of words right there. Yeah, it was not what I meant.
So Rocket, now that we're like on speaking terms again, and I guess not speaking terms, but content speaking terms again. Yeah. And I really don't have any dog in the fight. I know all the controversy over the years about the guy just following Twitter and stuff. I guess I have to be a Roman Reigns guy now, right? Like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna try to be the hipster guy and be like, oh, I was there from day one. I'm there on like day 100 and whatever of his fucking title reign at this point. But I'm a Roman Reigns guy.
Or you could flip the other way. You could say, fuck that. I'm a Cody guy. Cody should have won at WrestleMania last year. He should be winning at WrestleMania this year. You could just go all in on Cody Rhodes.
No. Who would even like Cody Rhodes? Is there anyone who likes Cody Rhodes? I know. That's the one thing I know. Bob's of Cody Rhodes.
You could be a main event J guy. I mean, that would be kind of like you wouldn't necessarily be a day one, but he's yet to kind of take off as a singles guy. That's kind of happening right now. You're in the very early stages of main event J being a singles competitor. Like you could kind of be like an OG now.
Is that the guy who tried to fuck his brother?
He got fucked by his brother.
Oh, he got fucked by his brother. I don't know which one's better, but yeah, sure. Main event J. I'm a main event J guy.
There you go.
So my wife was watching Robbie's stories, his Instagram stories, and she said, and AJ looks over. He goes, "Mommy, why are those two men fighting? Are they allowed to?" Then she goes, "Oh, it's pro wrestling." He goes, "I want to watch that." And I go, "Robbie, you just introduced AJ to wrestling, and now I'm gonna be Phil Margera, and he's gonna be Bam, just kicking the shit out of me.
Yeah,
until he fucking murders my ass." So the blood is on your hands, Robbie. But main event Jay, I guess we're gonna get into. How do I even watch that? Is the WWE channel still a thing? Is it Peacock?
No, it's on the cock. Yeah,
it's on the cock. All right.
Yeah, pay-per-views on the cock. SmackDown is on Fox.
On Fox, which is easy. Yeah.
Where's the old shit so I can show him, like, Stone Cold?
The cock.
Still on the cock?
Okay,
We're gonna go on the cock then.
Yep.
Hey, Jay, going on the cot. No, he's like, I wouldn't say that. Not even at the new Barstool. I don't think he could say that.
Yeah.
Not in front of a kid.
Yeah.
No. All right, Jared, this was a blast. We're going to get you back in the basement, hopefully frequently. I would love for you to become a recurring guest once again to talk graps, talk horror movies, like I said, Big Four pay-per-views, all that.
We're going to make Jared earn that
AEW's
salary.
about to do Wembley.
Yeah.
Make Jared earn his salary one way or another.
Put me to work.
You're going to earn this paycheck, Jared.
Yeah. It's about damn time.
All right, buddy. It was great catching up with you. Everyone,
right,
I was going to say follow Jared and shit, but he doesn't need your follows. He's fucking famous and stuff.
Yeah, follow me on MySpace. MySpace.com/Carrabis13.
Yeah, go enjoy your 65-inch television screen in your bath with your, I was going to say wine, but you're not a wine guy. Probably fucking Coca-Cola.
Yeah, orange soda. I'm on a big time orange soda kick right now.
Oh, who loves orange soda?
Yeah,
Carrabis loves orange soda. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, guys.
We'll talk to you later.
Later.
Great having you back, bud.
Great having Carrabis back. Just a delight.
A delight. Robbie, I've seen a twinkle in Robbie's eye. I haven't seen it in a very long time. Apparently that twinkle was going on behind my back all these years. I've seen the text messages. Robbie, who are you texting? No. I'm just just looking up the score of the Yankees game. Oh, okay, Robbie.
Joining the Communist Party, like Oppenheimer. Yeah. We do have a couple nerdy headlines we could talk about. Not a ton, because still the writer strike and the actor strike and all this is kind of holding everything from moving forward. But the Fantastic Four stuff is still a rotating door of cast members, essentially. We've got no confirmation on any cast members, but it seems like Vanessa Kirby is the only one that people are pretty locked in on as Sue Storm. She's the actress from Mission Impossible.
And he's not confirmed?
No, he's not confirmed.
Oh,
we thought he was last week. But I think I would put like 75% he's going to be him. But I don't think they could say anything because of the strikes and whatnot.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But they're saying Vanessa Kirby was the only one to actually sign her deal before the strikes came into effect. So she's kind of locked in. And I've recently heard that they went back and rewrote the script just to try to get Adam Driver back. So I think they rewrote it to try to make Reed more Adam Driver-like so you can connect with that character. I don't know what's going on, but it worries me. I'll say that much. It worries me for a movie that I don't want any worry about. This should be a bona fide home run. We can't have another Quantumania on our hands with Fantastic Four.
So I saw that report too, and that concerned me. You don't rewrite Reed Richards to get an actor, even someone who I like Adam Driver. You find an actor that's fucking gonna fit that character like a fucking big, flexible, bendy glove that he is, and you fucking go to ride on the Fantastic Four. At this point, I don't know if there's anything Marvel's going to be able to do to kind of get the stench out of the air of the last phase or so. And obviously Secret Invasion is kind of like the ground zero for that all. But let's be honest, I think Quantumania is when we were just like, oh, fuck. And then there was a couple shows around the way that kind of were uneven in terms of response. You fuck up Fantastic Four. I was talking to someone about this on Twitter and they're like, are they going to fuck up X-Men? And I'm like, well, buddy, we got to worry about Fantastic Four. And if they fuck up Fantastic Four, at this point, it's like, don't even bother with X-Men. Just wait until I should got off the trust the Feige fucking chair.
I know.
I'd love to be able to just sit on that one and just say it's all right. It's all right. At some point, you have to say shit. There's a reason why even like Bill Belichick right now, it's like he's kind of having his seat's getting hotter in New England, and I feel like that's almost with Feige right now. Like there's no way they rewrote Iron Man for Robert Downey Jr. They're like, you're Robert Downey Jr. You're perfect for Iron Man. Let's fucking cook. And I'd say this is like the next most important role is Reed Richards.
It might be, yeah. At this point, especially without a Captain America in the Marvel, you have Sam Wilson, but without a Chris Evans in the Marvel universe, you need to establish someone as like your top guys. Right now, it doesn't feel like, other than maybe Benedict Cumberbatch, like who's our top guy that's been around for a long time and has that gravitas about him.
Now that's exactly the problem. And I do think a chunk of the issues with this phase is that T'Challa was going to be that guy and he passed away, obviously. So that really fucked them. And now Cumberbatch
Thor probably could have been that guy, but they took Thor in a very comedic route. And like, I'm a Love and Thunder guy. I'm one of those few that's still sticking up for that movie. But I could admit it probably removed him from that top guy role a little bit in my mind.
Yeah, he kind of. And did you rewatch it and have the same thoughts I did where it was like, oh, this is a little goofier than I thought going in once
Not completely. I think I enjoyed it a little more on the second watch.
Okay.
which I know most people didn't. I know that's a pretty hot take, I think.
Yeah.
But again, I'm a little bit of a sappy guy. Second watch was the first time I got to take the nephew to see a movie, and he was loving it. So I was kind of like just watching him laugh at all the silly stuff, and I was just like, this is great.
I was watching it with the kids, and they were laughing. I'm like, oh, you guys are laughing because this is ridiculous. So
you're like, oh, this is made for these people that haven't had their brains fully developed yet.
Exactly. I mean, Robbie, this no disrespect. Has your brain fully developed yet? Like, is it 30?
I think it did. I think it's 25, and I just turned 25. So I think I'm done.
The club, pal. You're good.
It's the cutoff is here. This is as good as you're gonna get. If you were hoping for more, tune out.
They were like, that's when Erica's like, we got to give this guy a contract. His brain is fully developed now. We have to lock this guy up.
I also picture my brain fully developing, like when Vader's helmet goes on him. It's just like this is on it. My hat goes on me. This champion hat.
I love that sound it makes.
That was a pretty good effect.
That was pretty good, right?
You could be a sound effects guy. Yeah, that was good.
I got my Yoda voice. I could do my Darth Vader. I have an idea for the Thing too. We haven't casted the Thing either, right? Is there anyone even rumored for the Thing?
There were people rumored for the Thing. First was Daveed Diggs, who I really like. He was an actor that kind of got made his name in Hamilton, and he's been doing movies and TV since. And then it got rumored that Richie, cousin from the Bear, was going to be the Thing. And then someone came out and said he's not going to be the Thing, but he likely is going to be in the movie. So people think he might be the Silver Surfer.
Ooh.
Which is a little weird to think about, that actor in particular. He's great. I love that actor. But is he going to be like swooshing through space and behind, chef?
Yeah. Could he be Doom? Could he be a Doom?
Ooh.
He had he's
got pretty piercing blue eyes that could like look through that mask. I don't know. Maybe he could be Doom.
And he has kind of that sour disposition, right? We talked about it in Andor. We talked about it in The Bear. But like Doom, that's like you talk about ones you can't miss on. I feel like the villains are gonna be the thing that might carry the MCU going forward. And obviously that fucking got blown up with this one with Kang. So it's like Doom is, I think, the next guy. And it's almost to the point where in the future, I think we have had so much. We've been Magneto overload in Fox that I don't think they're gonna like lead with Magneto. I think it's gonna be a Mr. Sinister potentially. I don't even know. Apocalypse is such a crazy.
They go
villain.
back on Stryker. Like Stryker isn't the most exciting villain.
I like the idea of Sentinels being involved off the jump because the Sentinels really, anything from the cartoon basically, which they were a big part of.
Yeah, make them purple and pink. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
I'll go all the way.
My idea for Thing. Guy, muscle guy, kind of a little bit of a hardo, if you want to say, about his muscles. Just had him on the show, Jared Carrabis. Throw him in the mix.
Oh, he'd be great. He'd be great as the Thing.
It's clobbering time. Tell me you can't hear this guy saying that.
He actually says that because that's one of CM Punk's big quotes.
Oh,
so Jared actually drops "It's clobbering time" on the reg.
Oh no!
So that's perfect. Now I assume, based on you saying maybe Richie from The Boys could be Doom, assume you haven't seen this rumor. It's a rumor that it was offered to Cillian Murphy.
Ooh, now
that could be interesting.
Now we are cooking, my friend. Now we are cooking.
Especially because it's also yes, he played Scarecrow, but it's been a while since then, and I think Doom would be a very different role for him.
Yes, and there's a few actors that I have total utter faith that they are going to crush it, and he is one. And I loved him in Batman, but
yeah.
I think he could take this role. Obviously, Oppenheimer, everyone's sucking his dick. I'm not going to go back and do that again. But whew, I've never even watched Peaky Blinders. You have to understand that. So like, there's so many people who are like, oh my God, he's the best, this and that. I'm in love with him without even seeing like his signature work, it sounds like. So, all right.
I got to watch Peaky Blinders. I think I would really like that show.
Shows are such a goddamn it's such an overbearing, not an overbearing. What's the word I'm looking for? It's a commitment, you know? So
I forgot to tell you, I started a show because of you this weekend. I completely forgot or this week. I've been saying weekend because my girlfriend was on a work trip. So it felt like I was just like, I didn't know what day was which. I watched the first 5 episodes of Eastbound and Down for the first time in my life this week.
Thoughts?
Very funny. Like loving it. Absolutely loving it.
It's kind of like if you got into wrestling and you watch wrestling from like 10 years ago, because there's jokes that would certainly not fly today.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
In the first, I don't know, minute of the episode of the pilot, and then it just gets crazier from there on out. Yeah, season 1 of Eastbound and Down, I said should be elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. And after I rewatched it, I've only grown firmer in that stance. Oh man. And yeah, that's probably a show that like the babes don't have to watch. I mean, if they can, God bless. They can, if they want to, God bless. It's a lot. It's a lot, but
it's a dude show.
It's a dude show. Yeah. I mean, it's White Sox Dave's his favorite show, as he always says. If you got to know what kind of brand you're dealing with there, which I have to tell him, Jude, choose that as your niche for the dozen. If you love the show, that should be your niche for the dozen.
You're right. But see, that you shouldn't be giving other people those good ideas about their
exactly. Now that they have Keegs back in the mix, like that's a well-rounded team. And same with Smockin, which I have to ask you. Return the ghost of Honker's past comes back. So, fellas, we're allowed to say that again. We're allowed to say that again. What are the thoughts in Honker's HQ seeing a ghost return and join a rival team that has kind of made Smockin a well-rounded machine? Kenjack's an entertainment monster. Titus has his niches and corners, and then Mincy's kind of just filling in the rest and bringing the entertainment factor.
Yeah, a lot of people are happy about this. A lot of people are like, Mincy's back. Yeah, Smockin. They're going to be such a fun team. Fuck them. That's what I say. The big screaming honkers are taking him down next season, and we're going to prove that he didn't carry his weight on this team.
If anything, you could say Mincy was like actively sabotaging your team because he gave the other guys to North Carolina in the tournament. There's
in hockey, you get a plus minus, for when you're out there on the ice. He had a minus.
He had an own goal. It's very hard to get an own goal in soccer on the dozen. He definitely had one of those. I feel like if you guys could really build up this rivalry, you guys might be like the Christmas Day game. You know how like in the NBA, it's always like the teams that got in fights, they always play on the NBA.
We get to wear the fun shoes that day. Yeah.
Yep.
Put our nicknames on the jerseys.
Smockin had that rivalry with the Yak because Ken Jack hit him with the what was the get fucked.
Go fuck yourself or get fucked. Yeah.
Get fucked in the mic drop. And now Smockin is back in the crosshairs with you almost need the Wonton Don to be your manager leading you down to the ring because they kicked him off.
He got pissed about that. Yeah. Wonton Don, you're welcome on the Honkers managerial staff.
I almost sent him a tweet and was going to say, hey, if you want to be a consigliere to Ziti, you're more than welcome. But again, I didn't want to do that without my teams. Like, I'm not the captain. You are the captain. Feel more than welcome to at the Wonton Don. It's all about mind games in this fucking whack out trivia contest we play.
Yeah. These are kind of quick ones, to be honest, news items, because there's not a lot of info that we could really get into on them. Wonder Woman 3 is very back and forth. It's up in the air. I think Gal Gadot came out and said, we're going to work on Wonder Woman 3 with James Gunn and Peter Safran at DC, and I'm going to be in it. Like, my Wonder Woman will be part of the new universe. Then I think maybe Variety or Hollywood Reporter came out with an article that said that ain't true. Like, whatever Gal Gadot is talking about, she's on crack. Gal Gadot is not going to be part of James Gunn and Peter Safran's DCU. They're going to recast Wonder Woman. Then James Gunn came out and responded to somebody that said, like, Wonder Woman isn't even going to be in the first 3 years of the DCU. Someone said, James, can you please debunk this? And he said, I will debunk it because it's not true. So I don't think James Gunn confirmed whether or not Gal Gadot is going to be Wonder Woman, but he did confirm that Wonder Woman will be present in the first 3 years of the DC. This is making my brain hurt a little bit, if we're being honest. I need some of this C4, like, smart energy stuff, because just confirm it. Just come out and say, what does it hurt or help if just come out and say, is it going to be Gal Gadot or are we recasting the part? She seems confused.
This is what I would say to Gal Gadot. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No, I saw that thing. I feel like Gal Gadot is like, I'm a big enough star. I'll just say I'm going to do Wonder Woman. What are they going to say?
You're trying to do the Rock thing, like strong arm him?
Yeah, exactly. And then James Gunn's like, no. So that's what I'm guessing might be going on there. I have to say, I like Gal Gadot. I think she fits the Wonder Woman like persona, like the look well, the persona well. And I don't think a lot of the issues with it were her. I think we have to just do a full reboot. You can't just you can't have that taste of the old DCU. Let's just go full. Because then if you just bring back one, even like the same stunt grip or something like that, all the Snyderverse people are gonna be like, well, he's back. Why can't we just bring back the Snyderverse? You have to eliminate it to wipe those people off of the fucking internet forever.
Yeah. And listen, I like Gal Gadot. I do agree with the Lights Camera Barstool boys when they say I think she's gotten worse as Wonder Woman in every performance. Like literally every time I've seen her on screen as Wonder Woman, I've liked her a little bit less than the time before.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's her fault. I don't know if it's just reshoots and, bad scripts and problem after problem after problem. Her in the Flash was so bad. It was like a commercial. I thought it was like we were stopping and giving a shout out to Audie or something. All right, I got to cut off the podcast just one more time to tell everyone about Game Time, the exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports, created by fans for fans. Game Time is the ticketing app that makes it easier than ever to score last-minute deals on tickets to sports, concerts, shows, and more, and they guarantee the lowest price. There are so many great concerts and great tours going on this summer. I mean, you can go see Drake, Morgan Wallen, Mountjoy, Dead and Company. There's festivals going on constantly. It's festival season, basically. I think Game Time is the easiest ticketing app I've ever used. I've used them all for concerts over the years, but it really does take just 2 taps and 10 seconds to get your purchase. Once you buy your tickets, they're delivered directly to your phone, no printer needed. So the app allows you to share tickets with your friends via text. You can get into the game seamlessly. If someone's going to be late, they're not holding you up. You just text them their ticket. You get right to your seats. Very easy. The biggest last-minute price drops can be found on the seats you never thought you could buy on Game Time. So skip the hassle and enjoy the moment. Download the Game Time app or go to their website. Either one. If you don't want the app, go to the website. Enter your email and redeem code MMB for $20 off your first purchase. This is a no-brainer. This is just put in the promo code. You got $20 in your account towards your first purchase. So there you go. Put it in there. Pick a concert, pick a show, go to a Yankee game, go to a Mets game. We'll talk baseball with Jared Carrabis. Go see the Red Sox in Fenway. Do whatever you need to do. Game Time will make it very, very easy for you. So yeah, that one I'm worried about. I would also prefer a full reboot, especially if you're redoing Superman and Batman. You can't keep one of the old Trinity. That seems like so strange. Are you gonna excuse that?
Is Momoa new too? Is Momoa out or is he staying?
I don't know. I don't think that's, I think it's the same kind of thing where it seemed like they maybe confirmed him as Aquaman in the post credits of The Flash, but we don't even know if The Flash is going to matter anymore because nobody fucking saw that movie. If a tree falls in the forest, nobody's around to see it. Whatever. It doesn't make a sound. Is he going to be Lobo? We've been hearing rumors about that. All the leakers are saying Lobo is still on for Momoa. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to go on. I hope, and I trust James Gunn to give us this. I hope we get an explanation for those that are staying around. I hope we get an explanation for why is Harley Quinn the same, but everyone else is different. Stuff like that. Even if it's just a quick, we're in a new universe now.
Or tongue-in-cheek
thing. Yeah, you can make a joke about it. You could do an Iron Man 2 type thing.
Yep.
I'm here now. Let's just deal with it. Give us something. Let's not just sweep it under the rug and act like it never happened. That's weird.
I'm with you on that for sure. Definitely.
And then the final news item, I might just be bringing this up so I could clip it, make a TikTok out of it. Sydney Sweeney is officially cast as Spider-Woman, a.k.a. Julia Carpenter, not Jessica Drew, Julia Carpenter, the second Spider-Woman, has more of a Venom-looking suit in Madam Web. So that makes you a little less excited when you hear it's in Madam Web and not an MCU project. Madam Web is a Sony project in Sony's Spider-Man villain verse. If you're not familiar, Madam Web is a character. Usually she's like an old woman in kind of like a wheelchair made of webs, blind. She has like almost like the Liberty band over her eyes and whatnot. And she's a clairvoyant. She could see the future. She helps Spider-Man out. And I think this movie is set in the 90s. And the rumors are that her and Julia Carpenter's Spider-Woman are somehow going to have to like hold a multiverse together to make sure that Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker can become Spider-Man. I think they're just trying to make sure from afar. It's like Obi-Wan making sure Luke becomes a Jedi. Yes. They're like, let's just make sure he gets bit by that radioactive spider. That's not confirmed, but that's again, just rumors. I think that's a decent concept for something like this, especially in the villain verse where we know we're not going to get like big payoffs with MCU shit. Sure. Lean into Tobey Maguire and nostalgia, I guess. I'm not super excited for this. I don't even think we're going to see Sydney Sweeney in a Spider-Woman suit at any point. I think this is going to be one of those like grounded, serious type movies, but we'll see.
So my response to this is actually, I want you to take this response and just put it in the beginning of your TikTok clip.
Okay.
Bob, I'm a little bit of an older guy. Who's Sweeney? Bob, I'm a little bit of an older guy. Who's Sydney Sweeney? Is there anything like any pictures you could throw on here? Oh, okay, that's Sydney Sweeney. That's Sydney Sweeney. That's Sydney Sweeney. Okay, now we're gonna get the views, and this is how you get the TikTok views. So at the next company meeting, when they're talking how important TikTok is, Sydney Sweeney is gonna carry the base of Boys to the Moon. Her and Jared Carrabis.
I hope she does.
Get us there. Because when I saw you blogged it, and I was like, I had no idea Sydney Sweeney was in conversations to be in any kind of a Spider-Man project. I'm mad at the MCU for not bringing her into the Marvel universe, because I'll tell you this about Sydney Sweeney. I know she's in Euphoria. I know her grandparents said she had like the greatest boobs in the world or something like that. And I know she gets motherfucking clicks. And
she gets clicks.
Easy way to, make your audience forget that you completely botched an entire phase is you just throw a little bit of a TNA. Click Burglar Clem. We're getting tens of thousands of views on our videos by just tricking people by saying this is Jennifer Lawrence's topless scene. Same kind of thing with Sydney Sweeney, except that's like napalm on gasoline on fire. Great move by Sony. I'm pretty upset Marvel didn't. She could be the Thing. She could be Reed Richards. Do whatever you want with Sydney Sweeney. That's how you get people into the theater.
I feel a little bad because I read a little bit of her interview with Variety where she confirms that she's playing Julia Carpenter, and she seems like a legit Marvel comic fan. She said she grew up. She said she grew up just watching the MCU with her family. I think she has a little brother, so like. She's like, I've watched all of these movies, and the second I got cast in this, I went to the comic store and I bought every single comic that even mentions my character. And part of me was like, I think she's a big fan, but not big enough to realize you should have held out for the MCU. Like, I feel bad that she's like, I'm in a comic book movie. And everyone else is like, kinda, yeah, kinda, maybe. You're like in that comic. It's like me being like, I wrote a comic book, but it's not Marvel or DC. It's like I wrote one for Image or something, which I would. Hey, Image, you want to reach out? But yeah, it's hard to get excited for a Sony-verse movie.
I want to be in a Marvel movie. We have a Marvel movie at home, honey, and then that's like the Walmart version of it, basically. Yeah, that's
also. I forgot to mention this. It's Dakota Johnson is playing Madam Web. She's the girl from 50 Shades. So
okay,
they're trying to capture a horny market with this movie.
Hey, Morbius, you can only like go on the meme so long in terms of like making such bad movies.
They're like, fuck it, the memes didn't work. Let's cast some hotties.
So, and then the other option is like make everything animated, which I heard. What's the final Spider-Verse one? It's
Beyond.
Yeah. That's getting pushed back. That ain't coming anytime soon. Agent might be in college by the time.
Yeah, they didn't even give a date on that one. They didn't even give us one of those like Avatar 6 comes out in 2027 dates. They're like, we'll see if it even comes out.
That sucks too. So that's a bummer. So like, let those people handle this, the Sydney Sweeney, because like them and the video game people should have to handle all the Spider-Man stuff at Sony until I don't know if the MCU's at. It's like Dave getting back Barstool. It's like, will the MCU ever get back? Spider-Man. I hope so. Maybe one day. So I guess we'll see. But
I know.
Good start by Sony.
Stan Lee could go buy it back, like Dave or something. Yeah, it's tough. But we'll see. I mean, Sony's got Kraven the Hunter coming out before this, so maybe if Kraven the Hunter is promising, which I don't think it looks promising, but if it is, maybe we'll have higher hopes for this.
Kraven and the Killer Moon. Us and Eddie are going to go see the double feature and really, really learn to hate this whole fucking.
We're not doing Saw Patrol, but we might do Kraven and the Killer Moon. All right, this was a very fun episode of My Mom's Basement. I hope everyone was as happy as we were to have Jared Carrabis back in the basement. And we'll have him back in the future, maybe for Saw. Oh, that'd be fun. Saw 10, have Jared Carrabis back on to talk about it. That'd be really fun. Because that might be, I don't know if you'll be able to watch Saw.
No,
I'm looking out for you. Yeah, I saw one of the early trailers showed someone with like light tubes attached to their eyes. And they said you have to either break all of your fingers individually or the light tubes are going to suck your eyeballs out of your skull like vacuum tubes. And I was like, that sounds gnarly. I don't think Clem wants to see it, though.
No, this will be you and Jared just having coffee. And I'll be like, oh, it's okay. I'm not going to get jealous, guys, even though I know it's going to lead to more. So, yeah, you guys can
even though in the horror movie, I'll be snuggling up to him.
Exactly. I am not even watching the trailer for that shit. Even hearing that made me want to throw up, the lights and the broken fingers. What's wrong with you guys?
Out of all the horror movie franchises, Saw might be mine. Like Halloween is up there for me as well. Halloween would definitely be that for Jared, but Saw was the one that was coming out as my sister was in high school. So it was always the ones that like I was like, oh, you're going to see that movie. Like it was always built up as like a traumatic experience in my mind. And then when I was introduced to horror movies, that's where she started me. She said, let's watch Saw 1. And we went from there. So we'll hopefully get him back. We'll be back next week with another Free Swim podcast. It'll be our last one before Ahsoka comes out. And we'll see you then.